In this video I'll be showing you this. It's the Dyson TP7A Purifier Cool Auto React Purifying Fan. And what I want to do today is to show you around the fan some of the features and benefits that it offers. Just before I start, I would appreciate it if you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just give us a quick thumbs up. So first of all we need to get it unboxed. And let's see what we've got in here. I say I do always like a lot of the way that Dyson package their appliances, whether it's the vacuum cleaners or the fans. I must say, a little bit disappointed the amount of polythene that's in here. I did review one of the vacuum cleaners recently. If you follow me on YouTube, then you'll see that I think it was last week that I spoke about one of the vacuum cleaners, and I must say it was all cardboard, all recyclable cardboard. But as you can see, there's quite a bit of polythene in this one. So I just need to stand that to the side, because to put it together I'm going to need to move the box out of the way. And these are the filters. There we go. Eventually, when we get in here, there we go. So that's the half of the filter. So I think really the best thing at the moment, because I've not really got a lot of space to work and to show you, is I'm just going to clear all this out of the way, then we can start to look at putting it together. When it comes to the setup of the fan, there's not really a lot to do. Now I've got all the packaging put aside, it's a lot easier to work with it. What we need to do is to put the filters in the front and at the back, and that's quite an easy process. You just got two clips and that will give you access to both the front and the back. So once you've pushed these down, then you just take the covers off there. These are the filters, so it just says on the top there that this part is made of recyclable material. So after a certain time then this can be recycled. What you can do is when you need to replace them, I'll just post a link below to show you where to get some at competitive prices, because it's not a lifetime filter, these do need to be replaced. And to put these in, all you need to do is they just clip in at the front there. That's it, just so it's nice and snug, and then just turn it around. And the same there, so it's actually the same filter. So we'll just put the cover on, just being careful not to damage the filter as we do it. Spin around. That's it. So that was one way of doing it, or I suppose the main way of doing it is you actually put the filter within the front panel like this. That just clips in like that, so it's all latched in, and you'll see you've got a little indent there, so if you want to take the filter out, just press that in, then the filter can come out. And then once you've done that, then you just push that on the front. So that's really the official way of doing it, and I suppose if anything that's a little bit easier. Dyson have got a large range of air treatment products like this. That's really what they're calling them, so it's air treatment rather than just fans or purifiers. They just put them all into one category. It's really over the last 2 or 3 years that Dyson have really increased the range of purification models as opposed to just the fans on their own, because they used to do quite a good range of fans, but really they found that a lot more of the market are interested, especially when you're paying this sort of price. You want to know that it's purifying the air as well as trying to either warm you or cool you. This model is the Purifier Cool model, so that basically means that it will only, so it's just got the fan built in, it will only cool you, it's not got any heating whatsoever built into this one. They've realised, I suppose Dyson have realised that the majority of the market is not really interested in the heating side, and that's really reflected in the number of models that have got a heating part to the fan compared to the number of models that are like this, the purifying and the cool only. As far as the setup process for the fan, that was it. So we just popped the filters in, I've just plugged it in, and really now we're ready to go. So you do get with the fan a cheeky little remote like this. Well, it's not like this, this is the one you get with it. One advantage, and I will show you this while I remember, because I know I've forgotten to show people in one of the previous videos that I talked about one of the Dyson products, is that it will actually stick on top. I want to say stick on top, it's got a magnet. Now these kind of remotes can easily get lost, but this is something personally I think is just genius, and it will just pop on the top there. So when you're not using it, just pop it on the top, and then hopefully you won't lose it. So first thing you want to do is to turn it on. Got the on and off button at the top there, and you'll see it just kick into action. I'll show you the display. I'll zoom in a little bit more in a moment just to give you a good idea what it's actually doing, because it is a really nice LED display on the front there. But just to give you an idea that you can increase or decrease the speed of the fan. So just turn it down, so down to number 1. You will find that if you've got this on, say if you've got this on at night, which I suppose a lot of people will do, then even if you've got it on number 1, it is really quiet. At the moment you can hear it, you can hear that it's operating, but even if you struggle to sleep when you've got noise, or ambient noise around you, then really you shouldn't struggle with this, especially if you keep it on the low settings. And as we go all the way up to number 10, even then I can still talk, and hopefully you can still hear me talking over the maximum volume of the fan itself. You've got another option on here, and that's this button here, and what will happen is that's called the draft-free diffuse mode. And essentially what it will do, rather than you having air blown at you, then this is purifying the air around you without having the draft at all. Now personally, I'm not a huge fan, especially when I'm in bed, of having say air blown at me. I do find it quite annoying. So that kind of setting would be ideal for people like me. It can oscillate as well, so if you press that button there, then the whole fan can rotate. There are different settings on the front. You can have it to oscillate either 45 degrees. Let's just turn that off. So you've got 45, 90 degrees, 180 degrees, or even you can go 350 degrees. So depending on, I suppose, how you wanted it to rotate, then that's a brilliant feature. And clearly that's going to depend on who is in the room and who you want to cool. So I've just left it at the moment, that's on 350 degrees. But if you're sat there on your own, then you might not want it to rotate that much. So it is something that Dyson have improved on, and I'm really glad they've done that, because it is a comment that we did have from several customers beforehand. Now what I do need to do, let's just stop that, is I'm going to take that sticker off the front. Now this model, it actually has something called an auto react, and what that will do is it will increase or decrease the purification depending on what is actually in the air. So you do have the manual feature, and I suppose that's where we were setting increasing the fan speed, but you've also got the auto option on here. That's that button. So when we press that, and what that will do is that will increase or decrease the things like the fan speed, depending on what is actually in the air. Clearly at the moment, well, I'm just in the showroom, there's not a lot around. I suppose it will, over time, it could detect that if people are walking in, especially if someone, say, had been smoking, and if we got the like the smell around from them, then that could increase the speed of the fan. With the integrated sensors, it's constantly analysing the air, and using the algorithm, it will just cross-check the data every second, and then it diagnoses pollutants at a molecular level, displaying live results on the LCD. Now, I wasn't reading that off anything, promise. But essentially what it will do is, as I said, it's monitoring the air every second, and if it does detect that it needs to increase the fan speed or the purification level, then it will display it on the front there. So I've just zoomed in a little bit closer to the LED display, because I just want to show you this, because this kind of information is actually really good. I find it quite interesting. Might be me being a little bit sad. But on the remote control, the top right, you've got a little button with I for information. And what it would do on this display is actually displaying the last 12 seconds of information. And if you press the button, then it will show the actual air quality, and you can actually scroll through. I'll just show you this. Well, first of all, this is the last 24 hours, the air quality. It just gives you an overall view for the last 24 hours, but on the main screen that was the last 12 seconds. But as you press the information button again, this is showing you the different micron sizes that are in the air at the moment. So the first one is the 2.5, well, these are microscopic particles up to 2.5 microns in size, and these could be, so suspended in the air we breathe, so these could be things like smoke, bacteria, or allergens. The next one is the up to 10 microns in size. These are, so again, it's sort of suspended with the air, so it could be things like dust, mold and pollen. The next one are the VOCs, or volatile organic compounds. These are things like odours that could be potentially quite harmful. These can be in things like cleaning products, paints and furnishings. Personally, I think this is something that people have been a lot more aware of, especially the last 2 or 3 years, about VOCs. And then as you go on to the next one, this is the nitrogen dioxide and other oxidising gases. So these again, they're quite harmful gases. They're released into the air by combustion. Things like burning gas when cooking or vehicle exhaust emissions. So if you do live, say if you live in quite a busy built up area, then that could be something that could be of interest to you. As we go on to the next one, then that's the temperature. So it just displays the temperature that's within the room. Then you've got the humidity level. That again, that's just showing the amount of water vapour in the air, shown as a percentage. And again, that can be quite interesting, because you could find that if you say live in quite a small place where you've not got many openable windows, then just having that can be quite interesting. And then what that will do is that shows you the filters. So it's just showing you the filters. Clearly this is a brand new product, so I don't need to replace the filters at the moment. But it will show you the remaining filter life on the LCD screen, and just indicates when they need replacing. Because this kind of product, you do need to make sure that the filters are well maintained and cleaned. And then as we go on to the next one, then we're back to the main little display, and that's showing for the last 12 seconds. When it comes to cleaning the fan, there's not really a lot to do. I suppose I mentioned about changing the filters. That's really easy to do, and as I mentioned earlier, I've just popped a link below, show you where to get some at competitive prices. But I would always recommend going for the genuine Dyson filters. I know there are some aftermarket ones, and it's quite tempting, especially when you're looking at buying replacement filters for either fans or vacuum cleaners, whatever it is. Tempting to go for cheap aftermarket ones. Personally, I always recommend sticking with the main brand. Stick with the main filters. There's nothing worse than buying a cheaper aftermarket one just to try and save a small amount of money, and then you realise that the actual product is not performing as well as it should do, especially this kind of product. But once you've changed the filters, so when you take the filters out, just a little bit about these. So these are HEPA H13 filters. That's really what Dyson have decided, that kind of level of quality of filter is really what's needed to perform better. But once you've changed the filters, I'd always recommend just give it a quick brush out inside. You might find after a time that you might get a small layer of dust as you take the filter out. Just give that a good brush around, and then just get a cloth and wipe it to make sure it's nice and clean. Then once you've done that, you need to reset the filters in here, and all you do is you just press that button. It's the little moon, so you press that, hold it for 5 seconds, and then that'll reset it. As far as the dimensions on the fan, then it's 105 centimeters high and 22 centimeters diameter at the bottom. I'd always recommend just have a quick measure. So if you're going to put it somewhere where space is critical, have a quick measure. There's nothing worse than realising that you've just bought the fan, spent a lot of money, and then it's not going to fit. As far as the cord, so the mains lead itself is 1.8 meters long, and if weight is critical, then it's only 5 kilograms. There's not a lot to it. If you're thinking of buying one of these fans, I have provided a link below to show you where to get one at a competitive price. Hope you enjoyed this quick video on the Dyson TP7A. All I'd normally say is please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just give us a quick thumbs up, would appreciate that. I'd always ask for comments on the video, whether it's good or bad. If I've missed something out, if you've come to watch the video and if I've missed something, then I'd always appreciate it if you just pop in the comments. Also, if you've got any questions, then I have got one on display at the moment. Should hopefully be able to answer them for you. Thanks for watching.